Hey everybody, so welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Linda and I do an African show on Lexington Community Radio. It's one of the American radios and it's on 93.9 and you can listen to the show online 3W LexingtonCommunityRadio.com. You've got to choose the station 93.9 because that is the English station. We have two stations, the English one and Spanish one. So the English one is 93.9. So my show talks about Africa, its beauty, its uniqueness, the music, food, and the culture. So if you have any song, if you know anybody that have just released a song, feel free to drop the link in the comment section and I will be more than happy to go ahead and play the song on my show. We're here to promote our stuff. We're here to help each other. Thank you. So y'all stay tuned and check this out. I'm on 93.9 Lexington Community Radio, your show Proudly African, and your girl Linda on the mic. And like y'all know, it's all about Africa, its beauty, its uniqueness, and it's on 93.9 Lexington Community Radio in the state of Kentucky in Lexington. Your show Proudly African, your girl Linda on the mic. Y'all stay tuned. Amadé sur le 93.9 Lexington Community Radio, votre show, votre émission Proudly African qui vous est présentée par Linda Kana. Restez branchés. Amarebe kwenye mstari wa 93.9 Lexington Community Radio, kipindi chenu Proudly African na mtangazaji Linda Kana. Amarebe kuri 93 n'ibice 9 muri Lexington, Kentucky. Iganiro ni Proudly African mushikirizwa na Linda Kana. Akaririmbo ngo nuzi wacu turakundana cyane kandi ni igihugu cy'amata n'ubuki ngo kaze muri Afrika kuko abanyafrika turakundana.
Americans are your eyes, one cushion roll, only more. Move like it's yeah, like you, what I'm not for, I'm whatever, and I'm scared, no. Girl, you're the best. I swear you're the best. Girl, you're the best.
Best by Omi Dimples, all the way from Tanzania in the east of Africa on 93.9 Lexington Community Radio, your show Proudly African, and your girl Linda on the mic. Like y'all know, we talk about Africa, its beauty, its uniqueness, food, music, culture, clothing, everything that makes Africa a paradise on earth. Like I always say, I'm not trying to brag, but my continent, my Africa is just a paradise on earth. So today, I'm gonna keep talking about what we were talking last week, things that happen in an African household. Like, you only find those stuff in an African household, and I know there's some other culture, there's some other people that are not from Africa can a little bit relate to some of this stuff, but most of these are the stuff that you will be related to if you grew up in an African household. But before I jump into that subject, let me get back in the studio and get to listen to Iyomba by Fizzo Furious Mugani, all the way from the heart of Africa, Burundi.
I'm around your waist. Them like the ring on my finger. Ooh, you are kila sumba. Mamma mia, ukala I surrender. Mtima wangu ni wewe ukunda. Yomba, baby yomba, yomba, yali yomba, yomba. Dance to kizomba, yomba. Yomba, baby yomba, yomba, yali yomba, yomba. Dance to kizomba, yomba. You're MTV, ever give you all my love. Monday to Sunday, girl, you never be alone. You're my lady, and I choose you from a million. I never change my color, no, I'm not chameleon. Nafuze kumukunda, nimutavyuva mbele kumbigenza. Wewe ni wangu na mimi ni wako. You should be my Cinderella. Kaya boom, sweeter than your friend. Yomba, baby yomba, yomba, yali yomba, yomba. Dance to kizomba, yomba. Yomba, baby yomba, yomba, yali yomba, yomba. Dance to kizomba, yomba. Simoni yananiye.
That was Iyomba by Fizzo, all the way from the heart of Africa, Burundi. saying Iyomba, baby, let's dance to Kizomba. On 93.9 Lexington Community Radio, your show Proudly African, and I was saying today we're going to talk about stuff that you only find in an African house. So the first thing that I have on my list is sleeping over at friends' house. I mean, that is just a myth, as the story of the love of a frog and a princess. So I'm gonna talk about. I mean, I'm the living testimony of sleeping over friends' place is just a myth into an African house. So I remember I wouldn't even dare telling my mom like, hey, can I go to sleep at so-so's place? I mean, she would just give you a look like, excuse you, and you just be like, okay, I guess not. So I don't know. I've never met any African person that's saying, oh man, I mean, it was okay with my parents. I could sleep at my friend's place anytime I wanted. So that would be like a miracle if I find anyone, like one single African saying that it was okay sleeping over to their friend's place and their parents were okay with it. So like, you know how here you just, show up at home and then be like, Mom, Dad, can I go to sleep at my best friend's place? And then they'd be like, okay, it's okay. Just make sure that her mother is calling me. Oh, African parents don't do those. So the next thing on my list is, our parents will talk to us in a lot of proverbs, and you would just have to figure out. So for example, I remember growing up, my mom would always tell me this in Kirundi. She will be like, "Ubunurihabwa." So you'll be like, whoa, what's even that? So I was so young to understand what she meant. So, but now, like, ubunurihabwa means you've got to respect yourself before everybody else gives you respect. So if you don't respect yourself, do not expect anyone else to respect you, since you don't do it for yourself. So if you need somebody else to respect you, you've got to respect yourself first. So she will tell me that every day when I do something wrong or when I'm misbehaving, she'll be like, hey, here, if you've got to want this thing to go this way, you've got to do this way. But she wouldn't tell me that in a straightforward way. She would just be like, hey, she'll just throw a proverb there, and then you've got to figure it out. So I still remember up to now, and it's just not easy for an African parent to give you advice like straightforward. They will talk to you in parables, in proverbs, and then you've got just to figure it out. And if you don't understand, I remember us being able to ask questions, by the way. So if you don't understand, then I don't know, you maybe understand growing up or making mistakes. All right, so that is on 93.9 Lexington Community Radio, your show Proudly African, and your girl Linda on the mic. Let's get back in the studio and get to listen to Simone, which means Simon, by Ngabo Leonce. Mpitanjia on 93.9 Lexington Community Radio, your show Proudly African, and your girl Linda on the mic. So we're talking about stuff that happened in an African house. So the next thing on my my list is, you will never, if you are from Africa, you know this. So African parent would never ever have a conversation about sex, never. So if you're lucky enough, it will come into 3 categories. So one, when puberty starts to kick in, and the second one, when you start high school biology, and the third one, when you're about to leave home. And then they will all surprisingly sound like the Mean Girls cut, like, don't you have sex, you will get pregnant and die. Do not bring shame to the family. So those are the words that like, that is when you're lucky enough. It's like, hey, if you're a girl, do not bring shame to the family is like the big word that you will get, like, hey, you better not. So I remember so in Africa, they will, apparently when they're supposed to talk to you about sex or anything regarding sex, for the girls, I don't know for the guys, for the girls, they're supposed to tell you about those when you get your period. So when you get your first period, your aunt is supposed to sit you down and tell you all those stuff about sex. But I remember when I had period for my first time, I told my mom, and then we were literally like in the hallway home. I was coming in the room, she was getting out of hers, and then in the hallway we kind of like cursed each other, and then she said, oh, you better be careful. That is the only thing she told me. And then you're like, what does that mean? You better be careful. So I had to like learn from my friends. I had to ask my friends, like, hey, well, what happens? Okay, what happens when you get your period? What is it? So my friends explained, and of course, I learned some at school. So yeah, your African parents never discuss sex with their children. And the next thing that I have on my list, y'all know how bullying is a big thing here in America, right? In Africa, your siblings will be the first people to bully the crap out of you. And later on, you realize that they were preparing you for a big bad world outside there, which is true, because when you grow up being bullied in your household, you be like, oh my God. And then when you get outside of your house, and then there's some stuff that won't even matter to you, because you're like, that's a deja vu, I've been bullied before, so this ain't gonna hurt me that much. But again, don't get me wrong, I'm not encouraging bullying. So I'm just talking about how we grew up back in Africa. So let's get back in the studio and get to listen to Mpitanjia by Juliana Kanyomozi and Alisho. Muri Lexington, Kentucky. Uganda, we're probably African. Akarimbo kabarika DJ Polan na MB Data na B Face Official. Gododa urukundo ni gurusaba amahera kuri 93.9 muri Lexington. Cyari kiganiro probably African nkaba ndagihejeje nkangeze makumera z'ikiganiro nkaba ndabahaye isango yindi ngo iza yamango nyene murarajyana. We have a party today. See with me, baby. The guy no be look over. Get your body on the beat, make it fire, baby. I love her, no give look over, baby. Come on, put your hands up, Doda kwenye mstari wa 93.9 anakwambia unamusije nawe kuripiste, tutacheza mpaka asubuhi. Kwenye mstari wa 93.9 Lexington, Kentucky. Kipindi ilikuwa ni Proudly African. Nafika mwisho, itabidi tukutane wiki ijayo. Nyinyote kuwe na weekend njema. Doda sur le 93.9 Lexington Community Radio. C'était votre émission Proudly African qui vous était présentée par Linda Kana. Je vous donne rendez-vous la semaine prochaine.